Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my top 10 sexiest fragrances for the fall. Literally some of the hottest, sexiest fragrances a man could wear, especially on a date night. All are very attention-grabbing, head-turning scents, and ungodly sexy. Grab one of these for your next date night and thank me later. We're going to be talking about some niche, designer, and more affordable scents. Let's do it. So starting off with Sunforce by The Harmonist. I know that the color of the bottle and the name might be a bit confusing, but trust me, the juice inside screams autumn and the nighttime. This to me is like a more refined, worldly brother, well-traveled worldly brother to La Nuit de l'Homme. It's cardamom with saffron and rose with honey and benzoin, but it still has a nice freshness. A touch soapy clean, but it works really well and works in the scent's favor. A touch earthy. It really exudes elegance. Musky and bright, it is very luxurious. It's airy with this sweet resin and unbeatable quality. The Harmonist is really known for their impeccable quality in blending. It's easy to wear, but ultra impressive. Has a really sexy, confident energy about it. It's a very dressy, very put together scent for a man. Sunforce by The Harmonist. Next up, we have Tom Ford Noir Extreme. Now, I do love the parfum, but in this line, the Extreme is my preference. It's my favorite. Kind of a forgotten flanker as well, but it definitely deserves a bit of spotlight. It still has that very famous Kulfi note that is in the parfum, but it's even a bit more pronounced in here. With this nutmeg and saffron, there's cardamom and a neroli note that brings a lot of elegance, a lot of dressiness and classiness. It's beautifully balanced between this kind of sweet gourmand side and this side that has the spices and the florals. It has a nice woody base as well, and it doesn't have that kind of challenging note that some people get in the parfum. I know that the parfum can be a tad polarizing for some people because there's just something in it that is a little off smelling for some people. This does not have that at all. It's the type of scent that when you put it on, people just want to come in closer to you. Very alluring. I love this sweetness. Tom Ford Noir Extreme. So no surprise here, we have Spicebomb Extreme by Viktor and Rolf. This has been a fall staple since 2015, almost 10 years. Literally a top men's fragrance for the last decade. And for a very good reason. It is one of the most masculine, sexy fragrances ever. It smells niche. It is so gorgeous. The tobacco in here isn't necessarily smoky or ashy, and it has this kind of sexy, very enticing cumin note in it that doesn't really go in a BO direction like cumin sometimes can, but it just adds something very extra here. Just adds to that masculinity. It has a very nice dark vanilla note with sweet tobacco. This leaves the most amazing, addicting scent trail ever. And it also has this really nice kind of pencil shavings like sandalwood in the base. It's a touch boozy. It's one of those types of dark scents that is still gonna have you smelling very crisp and clean and put together. Not to mention that this is a huge compliment getter. It doesn't really need too much explanation. It is the best fragrance from Viktor and Rolf, hands down, and one of the best designer fragrances ever. Iconic, this is a king. So next up, we have Haltane by Parfum de Marly. This is one of my all-time favorite men's fragrances. One of the best, most dimensional, easy to wear oud fragrances on the market today. It is aromatic, it is gentlemanly, it is so put together and refined. It's saffron with clary sage with this really nice sweet edge. The sweetness is coming from this gorgeous, sexy praline note, kind of similar to the praline note that you can find in Altair. It just brings that sweet factor, the sex appeal, mixed with this ultra freshness. It's a very clean oud. There's nothing skanky about it, nothing challenging about it. So impressive. It's my #1 Parfum de Marly. There are so many greats from this house, but this is always going to be my #1. At least we haven't had anything released that is going to top it yet. This smells like a winner. Like, this is what I want my man to smell like. So hot. Haltane by Parfum de Marly. So next up on the list, we have Nitro Pour Homme from Dumont Paris. Everyone talks about Nitro Red. I see everyone talking about Nitro Red, which I do also really like. But Pour Homme is one that I'm really loving recently, especially when I think of fall. There's a lot of this kind of sweet, fruity citrus in here, but mixed with spices. These very like airy, effervescent spices and a ton of ambroxan, but not a ton of ambroxan in the way that's kind of like off-putting or like not nice. It's really like a good quality ambroxan in this. It's really going to help just boost the scent like crazy. There's nutmeg and cardamom with woods and musk with a sweet tonka bean with orange blossom. It has this really nice kind of like gentleman vibe to it. It's dressy and fashionable and a unique type of scent to wear as a man. It just smells like a man that dresses very well to me, like a man that is very confident in his masculinity. And as it dries, it does become soapy. So it also has this kind of fresh and clean element to it as well. So affordable, around $35. It's definitely worth checking out. And this is one of the types of scents that works beautifully in the air, like magical in the air. So definitely you need to test this scent, like you need to smell the scent trail of this. That is where you are going to be super impressed with Nitro Pour Homme. So next up we have a fragrance that I just can't seem to stop talking about. Azzaro, the Most Wanted Eau de Parfum Intense. This is the definition of a panty dropper. Oh my gosh, this drives me crazy when I smell it. And that is the effect that this has on women. This will have people chasing you, like chasing you down the street to ask what you're wearing. It's cardamom with toffee and amberwood. It's sweet, it's addicting, it's so sensual. It just makes you wanna like come in really close and get a good whiff. If this had lavender, and this is kind of crazy to say, but if this had lavender, it might dethrone La Nuit de l'Homme is the best cardamom scent. This scent is very powerful and there's a lot of like power in it. It is so good. You need to try Azzaro, the Most Wanted Eau de Parfum Intense, especially if you want women just drooling for you. Up next, we have Smoking Hot from Kilian. Fall time, like a crisp autumn breeze in the air with fallen leaves and candy apples. That's what this smells like to me. It smells kind of like an apple hookah too. It's incredibly artistic. You cannot deny the uniqueness and the artistry of Smoking Hot. It took me some time to really come around to this, but the more that I smell it, the more that I really enjoy it and like it. I just love that sweet caramel apple vibe mixed with this tobacco and vanilla with licorice and something a bit green. It's very captivating. This is a beautiful conversation starter type of fragrance. A great way to stand out without being too challenging. It's another one of those scents that feels very dark but bright at the same time. Really, really interesting. Smoking Hot if you want something totally unique. So next we have a great date fragrance for a date. This is Hayat from Alwatania. This has this kind of like syrupy, honey-like date note. On the sweet gourmand side, like a rich, resinous, melting saffron. This is just going to be a star for the cooler weather. It is really going to shine. It definitely feels very Middle Eastern, but in a sweet way. Slightly fruity, almost like this kind of like dried apricot vibe, kind of like this dried fruit, but super, super spicy. Kind of in the realm of something like Kamra by Lattafa, maybe like the world's farthest distant cousins to like Angel Share. It doesn't smell the same to either of those, but it just has that same kind of like feel in the same kind of gourmand category, but this isn't as sweet. It is very sweet, but there is such a heavy dose of spiciness on top that I feel like it kind of makes it a little bit more easy to wear for a man. Like I know that Kamra by Lattafa is so feminine. This is definitely more unisex, but you do have to enjoy more edible, sweet, spicy scents to want to wear this. But if you like that category, this is beautiful and so affordable. You can pick this one up for around like $17. A great, affordable, super sexy date night scent for the fall. Hayat from Alwatania. So next we have Dolce & Gabbana The One Eau de Parfum, a classic icon for the fall. It's citrusy and spicy with grapefruit, coriander, and basil, with cardamom, ginger, orange blossom, with this kind of like Christmassy tobacco, with amber and woods in the base. It's a really nice, lighter, citrusy tobacco fragrance that is ultra appealing. It's one of those scents that you cannot go wrong wearing this. There's no one on the planet that's going to dislike this. The best way to describe it is just, it's classic. It has a bit more weight than the Eau de Toilette. Super affordable on discounters, and everyone is going to love what you smell like. Impossible to dislike. Dolce & Gabbana The One Eau de Parfum. So of course, we have to wrap up the list with the sexiest fragrance of them all, the Cavour one from Xerjoff, my #1 perfume of all time. It is the best, most wearable, dimensional gourmand ever made on the planet. It's rich and boozy with dark chocolate, with red berries and rose, really beautiful rose with a lot of patchouli. This fragrance I would describe as mostly a patchouli scent with a lot of supporting notes, supporting gourmand notes, with a very velvety, super luxurious cashmere. This has a very fruity, vibrant, just delicious opening from quince and peach. There's caramel, vanilla, and some woods in the base. It is the ultimate indulgence that is so elegant and so sophisticated and ultra sexy in the most romantic way possible, and the most gentlemanly way too. It is my favorite, so incredibly well done. This is a gourmand lover's dream, an absolute gourmand masterpiece. You literally cannot beat it. Via Cavour one from Xerjoff. So guys, that was just my top 10 most sexiest fragrances for the fall. All of these will be so incredibly hot on a date night, and they're all 100% worth checking out. So if you're interested, all of these fragrances will be linked in the description down below with a ton of discount codes, because we always want to save money when we can. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment down below. What is your sexiest date night fragrance for the fall? I would love to know what you think. I appreciate each and every one of you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.